going on, everybody? Listen, I know lately these Black Hebrew Israelites, or IUIC, or these IUCBKU, I'm not sure really the exact name of their schools, but these are mainly Black and Hispanic men who truly believe that they are the only children of Israel and reject the fact that anybody who's not Black or Latin American, First Nation, etc., pretty much anybody who wasn't sent on a ship as a slave is not an Israelite, based off of verse that we'll get to later on. Biology, I don't know the verse right now. It's in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. That's the verse that starts everything about them. So they hit the streets and they say, oh, we're Israelites, you're not. We're the chosen, you're not. Salvation is only for us, so whatever. Me, I am a Israelite by every requirement there is. I check the whole list off. Alright? My past generations check the list off. And so what are the requirements? Well, in the Torah, I just found 7. I'm sure there's a couple more. But the main ones is, lineage and ancestry. So you got to be a descendant of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Yaakov's name was changed to Israel. Israel had 12 sons, 12 tribes of Israel. And okay, so how do you know you're from that descendant? Well, first things first. The first contract that's still active, by the way, is for every male to be circumcised at 8 days old, from Abraham all the way until me right now, and so forth and so forth. My father got Brit Milah, the circumcision, at 8 days old. His father, his uncles, his cousins, his father, his uncles, his cousins, his father, as long as we can go back. How do we know this? Well, we have a record of our family. In Hebrew, our names carry the name of God. And for instance, mine would be Ariel ben Shmuel Yosef. And since I know these Black Hebrew Israelites don't understand the divine language of Hebrew, for them I'll translate it. It says, Ariel, my name is Ariel, son of Samuel Joseph. And he would be Samuel, son of Benjamin Joseph. And then Benjamin, son of Eliyahu Joseph, and so forth and so forth and so forth, until we can't trace it no more. But we haven't lost our language, haven't lost our name, kept the sign of the covenant, and through all exiles and relocations and movement and different reigns of kingdoms that came into Jerusalem, etc., and elsewhere, still able to observe the Shabbat, which is a major distinction. Still able to keep to the kashrut, the diet of an Israelite, what you can and cannot eat, and how you're supposed to kill the animals prior to eating it. the visual tzitzit, four corners with the talit that sits at the bottom. The Black Israelites, they call it fringes or hinges, whatever, I don't know. These knots represent all 600 something commandments. It equals out as a reminder of the commandments. And it's a big tzitzit. I'm not talking about the little ones underneath the garments. I'm talking about the ones that go over. Then you have the total devotion, the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Ad Hashem Eloheinu, Ad Hashem Echad, Baruch Shem Kavod Mechuto Le'olam Va'ed. And then there's the V'ahavta and the Vayomer, right? And in the Vayomer, and maybe the V'ahavta, Vayomer, it speaks about wearing the tzitzit. So in the total devotion, in the Shema, which every member of my family knows off by heart now, child, adult, teenager, senior, male or female, they know the Shema off by heart. And then we have the Shalosh Regalim, the three festivals, Shavuot, Sukkot, and Pesach. Pesach is unique because it's exclusive, right? You have to be B'nai Israel to sit at a Passover, to do Passover. You cannot have an uncircumcised person sit at that table. Period. It's law. Hashem said it. Circumcised. Right? Of the flesh, of the sign of the covenant, not what Paul or Johnny said or Matthew, where you could be circumcised of the heart. No. Brit Milah is the original contract. God said you need it from Abraham on and on and on and on and on. But then these Black Israelites go listen to Paul or John or Matthew, right? And say, oh, well, John, Matthew, Paul said, no, who gives a fuck? What did the Most High say? How are you guys going to be Israelite and read New Testament when you can just get all the answers from the Old Testament? Why do you got to listen to Paul, John, or Matthew? And you know what's funny is these Black Israelites, they say, oh, Jesus is black, etc., whatever, right? Really on that racial aspect. I want you guys to find me a John, a Matthew, and a Peter, all black men in the same city today. Till today. Find me them. Find me a black man named Peter. Find me a black man named Matthew. Find me a black man named Paul. And then find me them in the same place. Anyway, I'm not here to get up on that right now. My point is, you need to meet all these requirements at minimum. And since you guys are just finding out, you think you're Black Israelites, that means you don't have your lineage or ancestors. It's been forgotten, it's been lost. You can never really tell. But there's millions who can tell, who can go back and trace it, who can speak and read the Torah. You guys are reading a Bible that's been translated from what the Hebrew Torah says. So you're Black Israelites, but you don't read from the source of the Torah. You guys go to the Christian translations. You rep Jesus. That's breaking the first commandment. Close that book if you are an Israelite. I bet 80% of the men are not circumcised in any of those camps at 8 days old, like they should have been.